Hello and welcome back to another behind the scenes video with me, your host, Visual Pony. How are you all today? Let me know in the comments down below how you are. I hope you're all well. It's been a while since I recorded, because my life has just been crazy as hell. You wouldn't believe. And usually when I get back from these things, I'm dead. I'm really dead. Just to keep you in the loop right now, I'm going through physiotherapy, and then I'll likely have to find another occupation because my doctors have told me I can no longer work in my job, which is bad. I'm also applying for disabilities because of, all of the damage to my skeletal structure and all that. Won't be fun, but what can I do? Anyhow, enough about me, I'm unimportant. Now let's go get to this story. I have chosen a few for today, and I will start out with a story called Toast, or Luna Makes Toast by Overlord Flinks. I'm actually fairly certain that we did cover a story by Overlord Flinks before, but I can't put my hand on which one. But without further ado, let's do this. Where is my order? Okay. That was certainly an interesting one. Let's save this. Music. Pony&Wolf. Raw. Luna makes toast by Overlord. Yes, I'm 100% certain that I have narrated something by Overlord Flinks before, but I cannot put my hand on it, my finger on it. It's, you know, one of those things where you're like, I know I've done this before. Not this particular story, mind you, but I have done a story by this author before, and I cannot remember which one it was. Maybe if I look at their profile, maybe then I can find it out. Ah, no. Damn you. Yeah, let me have a look at their profile. 112 stories. Okay, War at Noon, Eternity is a second. Sheriffs don't do that. Birds and the Changelings. Oh my god, he has... She give Pip a cookie. Okay, you know what? I might actually add that to my read later. I'm not undressing you with my mind. What the hell? Okay. Twilight makes tea. Oh my god. There are so many stories, and some of them are definitely not safe for work. With a passionate hugging tag. Oh my goodness. And he certainly has all the ponies making food, for some reason. But it really bugs me now, which... Luna, get out of my house? Let's at least have a look at it. You have just one drink. This might actually be a story I have... The Captain Sand... Oh yes, Captain Sand is... Oh yes, if you don't know, their YouTube channel was deleted. Because apparently Klopp is no longer allowed on YouTube. And Captain Sand was like one of those narrators who specialized in Klopp. Which I don't have a problem with. I myself ran a Klopp channel for a while. Because, you know, why not? It ran very well even. Like, it outdid the main channel quite heavily. I'm just checking here if there is a story that because it's really bugging me right now, if there is a story that rings a bell to me that I might have narrated. This one there was a rarity, you just had one drink. That might have been one when I still had my Klopp channel. Oh my god, so many sex stories. Dude. The Ballad of... No, Discordian Turn on the Lights. True Meaning of Easter. It's just, so, okay, this is definitely one that I have read. The Legacy of Harmony. But on my own time. And that wasn't for the channel, so I know definitely that I have recorded something from Overlord Flinks before. But I have no idea. My student, my friend, my Twilight. He seems to be writing mostly short stories. And some of which are, not finished. But you see, these chapter lengths that you see in his stories, I would say, if you go for a one-parter, that's okay. Ah, there we go. Overlord Flinks, Know Your Mare. There you go. He's the guy who did Know Your Mare. Now I remember. That thing that a lot of you guys still want me to either redo or completely finish. Oh goodness. Look at that. And it doesn't even have that many words. The problem with Know Your Mare is just the amount of chapters. Anyhow, maybe I'll produce that at some point. I did start it at some point, but it just got so much. How many chapters does that even have? Let me have a look. Oh my god. When was the last update? In 2021, Sunny Star Scout. Chapter 279. Oh god, I could release that for almost an entire freaking year. And would have... I would have one of those basically every day. I think that was even the reason why I started producing it back then. Because one, I liked it, and second of all, because I thought, it was online yesterday. And because I thought, okay, you can produce that quickly so you can have daily updates. That was the last attempt where I wanted to have daily updates. Oh goodness, it was so horrible. Back then I wasn't as practiced in audio editing as I am now. So, yeah. Also, if you're asking yourself why I'm not putting this like in a mono track and stuff like I did before, that's simply because I went ahead and changed my Blue Yeti's settings. Now it's back on the settings that I used to have, I think. Because at some point, I think while I was moving, there's a switch in the back and that got turned. So that's why apparently there wasn't the settings that I needed. And I now hope that it sounds good. Because that is always something that you worry about as a YouTuber. You record something and then it doesn't sound good. And then you have to re-record it. Have to decide, do I re-record it or do I completely say fuck it and just release it as is? In some cases, I actually do the latter. Because I can't re-record it, There are situations where, for example, when I'm doing the gameplay stuff, you might have noticed those Batman videos. Some of them are without sound. And the problem there is, usually I would say, okay, you know what? I'll go back to a save and replay the entire section. Yeah, but I couldn't do that with those Batman games. Well, with that Batman game, because Batman only has one save slot per profile. Which means I couldn't go back to an older save. Your decisions are final. Your game progress is final. And that sucks so bad. You have no idea. That's why eventually I said, you know what? Screw this. I'll just release it as is and give a short explanation via screen captions. Where I did actually go back and re-record it recently was The Walking Dead Season 3, so a New Frontier. Episode 5, because on my gaming PC, this here is not my gaming PC. I can game on here, I tried it out earlier. Believe it or not, but on this machine, after I did some maintenance on it, everything runs really well again. For example, Fallout 4 with a mixture of high and medium settings gets 60 FPS in 720p. And I find that very, very impressive for a machine that is 7 years old. I mean, Fallout 4 is also not that fresh. It's also a few years old. But I even got Aliens Fireteam running on here that was released last year. Meaning, this 7-year-old machine can feasibly and playable run games that are, well, newer. Now, does the game look good on this machine? Nope, not at all. We're talking 720p, 30 frames per second, with all details on low and all effects off. But it runs, and it is not only running, but it's actually playable. I did play a few matches with this machine, and believe it or not, but it worked really well. It worked perfectly. Sure, there were a few stutters here and there, but what do you expect? This machine is 7 years old. But the stutters rarely happened. It was like per mission maybe once or twice. And what I really find cool is that after I replaced the thermal paste, because let's face it, after 7 years, that wasn't thermal paste, that was a thermal block down there. This machine can run that game at 30 FPS, mostly stable. And the GPU will not go over like 70 degrees. And that's a game from last year. I want to actually run a few more benchmarks on this. For example, I want to run Doom 2016 on here. That's a game that's only 1 year old, 1 year younger than this laptop actually, because I bought it in 2015. Which, oh god, seems so long ago, but I can remember. I 100% remember when I got it. It was so amazing. That was the time when I still was writing Fallout Equestria Duty, and I was just working on the last chapter. So the last chapter of Duty was partially, at least, written on this machine. And most of Horizons was recorded on the... No, wait, all of Horizons was recorded on this laptop. Recorded and edited on here. So there is some history in this machine. Well, not edited per se, but, you know, cleaned and stuff. That's what I did before I handed it off to my editors, starting with Chapter 54. Chapter 54, oh god. When I realized I would have to get help. Because, let's face it, up to that point, it had just been me. No one else had helped me. There were just a few voice actors. But all the editing and all the effects, everything, that was all me. And, oh goodness, it was a mammoth project. And I think that proves that I can finish long stories. It's actually what I'm known for, and even now people are already messaging me and leaving comments constantly. Hey, when are you doing this Fallout? When are you doing this Fallout? Oh, goodness. Guys, I understand you want to have readings of all the Fallout stories. And in a perfect world, I would be able to provide those for you. However, we are not living in a perfect world. And I am no machine, and I'm no 20 anymore. You know, when I started this YouTube channel, I was 25. When I started Visual Pony audiobook productions back in the day, I was 25. Now I'm 36. Oh, is that about right? No, wait, I was... Oh, right, wait a second. I was 26 in the year of where I turned 27. So next year we're on the 10 years. So, yeah. I'm no longer young, guys. I'm old. Accept it. This narrator has grown old. And especially if you go back to my older videos, you will hear that reading this many stories has had an effect on my voice. It's gotten quite a bit deeper, quite a bit more raspy. When you look at my older videos, like Lonely Dr. Hooves or Children of the Night, you will actually think that I'm like 15 or so. Nowadays, I sound like someone who smokes like 4 packs of cigs a day. And that is simply because of all the long stories that I've read and not following my own advice of taking breaks. Okay, now I gotta put in some effects.
Salutations, my beloved sister Luna. I left this note here for you because, well, you looked so very at peace, Cole. Check that the sun is aligned. The changelings have finished fest. For their morning duties for you. I wish you the best of luck, sister. Also, be warned, due to lack of foresight, I allowed the morning chefs a day off today.
Okay, let's put some...
However, I have faith in you, sister.
Oh god, that's... I think that was the wrong reverb effect. Yes, that was the principal address one. I usually use lecture hall. I think, let me hear.
Salutations, my beloved sister. Salutations, my beloved sister Luna.
Celestia.
Princess of... Take it out and eat that? She should have just wrote, I know you can't cook worth a... Just take it out and eat that? She should have just wrote, I know you can't cook worth a buck, so I made you something so simple, even you can't mess it up. Even you can't mess it up.
Such be under arrest. Pass guard to the actions.
Nay, have I even ventured out from my dwelling to cast looms of powers upon subjects in honesty. Powers upon subjects in honesty. To cast looms of powers upon subjects in honesty. Truth, I have ventured into the bowels of the culinary fortress on a greater errand.
Oh my god. I have become so cheesy when it comes to narrating. Maybe I should simply quit it while I'm ahead. I mean, let's face it. The prime time of Visual Pony is over. And it will never return. As sad as this might be. Okay, now let's see. Okay, ticking clock. Puts that in there. And then mark all of this, truncate silence. New and vastly altered construct. Little Pony, where I will remind you that you can support Pony and Wolf Productions through the links down in the description below, or you could become a channel member to get exclusive download links of everything that we have produced here. Every dollar helps is needed and very much appreciated, and by the way, there's also a link to a merch store down there. Okay, let me just tell you, really, seriously. I know I'm trying to push Patreon on everything really hard, but that has its reasons, guys. And no, it's not because I'm quote-unquote money hungry. It has more to do with, me having to find a new career. And we need money to bridge the gap. No, I don't want to level this. I want to normalize it. There you go.
Salutations, my beloved sister Luna. Working the morning hours of the castle is no easy task, I remind you. If I had remembered you would be eating bread, just take it out and eat that.
Written on her very stationery in her personal... of all that was dark had been slept. Such little faith. She gave little acknowledgement to the brought to her.
Nay, have I even ventured out from my dwelling? would have let out gasps at the mere sight of such a rarity. However, double doors. The kitchen doors flew open with Luna's magic, keeping them...
Okay, where is magic? Magic. Unicorn. Unicorn magic sound effect.
Luna's magic.
And then we need a door. That actually does sound like a double door. Let's add another stereo track here.
Open with Luna's magic, keeping them agape for her arrival. Heads would have turned and mouth would have let out gasps at the... However, not a soul was even there. Which, admittedly, Luna felt a bit like culinary fortress on a greater errand. Luna took a soft... Not a single slice was cut to white these slices carefully, being ever so sure to not have any take her by surprise. This was her realm now. Luna mused a thought to her.
Hankering to be fed, make some toast. Just remember the recipe I said.
Okay, we need to put an echo in here as well. Because she remembers this.
When you got a hankering to be fed, all you need is a sweet slice of bread. With this recipe you can always boast, because with it you can make some toast. Just remember the recipe I said.
Dastard! There was no recipe in that poem! Luna cursed to the high heavens. I shall need to improvise. Looking about her collective of bread slices, she absorbed her surroundings in. Though Pip's poem offered her little, it did give her an idea. Toast. Yes, the most basic form of alchemy. The art of taking one thing and manipulating it through dark means to turn it into a new and vastly altered construct. If she could pull this off, Celestia would...
Oh god, Luna. So I remember my first attempt of baking bread buns. It did not go well.
Chunks would bow to her will.
Hold. Cause with it you
offered her little, it altered construct. If she could pull this off, Celestia would no doubt have to take back her rude inclination. Luna took a slice of bread against her horn, impaling it at the crust before looking. This was important. Luna assessed the slice of bread over more, making sure it was just right inside the toaster. Watching as the dark slot of the toaster seared red with heat building up within it. Alchemy was such an interesting process. And yet... it would produce twice as much toast from the single slice of bread. Such was simple logic with magic.
Thus, Luna sparked the hue of darkness from her horn and aimed a light twinkle to the heating toaster. Just enough.
You just couldn't eat the sandwich, could you?
Celestia, ruler of Equestria, sighed as she stood over the crumbled, charred remains of her throne room. The mass of Canterlot guards hustled from one side of the obliterated castle to the other, unsure of what they could even do as every brick laid in ruin with layers of black crust was Princess Luna as she stood beside her sister, munching on the fruits of her victory.
And thou said I could nae make breakfast on my own.
Luna scoffed in victory, enjoying the taste of a flaky piece of toast against her mouth. Hello and welcome back. And with that, this story is done. Whew. I'm really glad that I managed to record again today. No, really, I am. You have no idea. Stuff has been going on and I have been so busy. It's unbelievable. It is really unbelievable. Okay, let's close this. Let's close this. Let's close this. Now, come on. I really need a new mouse. I really need a new mouse, but it's not in the budget right now. Oh yeah, there where I tried to install Fallout 4 on this computer. Which worked out really well, by the way. Just so you know. I always use the pictures provided by the author, at least for the posts on Patreon. Not on YouTube, because some people use copyrighted pictures. And YouTube doesn't like that. I literally have had videos, entire videos claimed for a picture. Even for a thumbnail. So I am careful when it comes to that shit. Luna makes toast. Oh goodness, this is... Yeah, this is just a random story. Really random. Brony, fanfiction, Princess Luna, Visual Pony, Paw Production. Directions. Paw. Audiobook and comedy. Okay, guys. And with this, even this behind the scenes video is over. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be here for the next one. As always, I hope that this video finds you well in body and mind.